Hey everybody, this is at now_world_order from Twitter. And first of all, I just wanted to thank everybody. In less than 3 days, my first video on the Seth Rollins heel turn, which will be, I'll have a link below for anyone who hasn't checked it out yet. Already has over 100 views in less than 3 days, so I really appreciate the support. I'm getting a lot of good feedback on Twitter, and I'm going to keep them coming. So, I just wanted to take a second to thank everyone and thank, the 8 people who have subscribed to my channel so far. I really, really appreciate it. So this video I'm going to do is a little bit different. So in my first video, I talked briefly about what we had to look forward to as wrestling fans. And I mentioned names like Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, Daniel Bryan, Cody Rhodes, Dolph Ziggler, just to name a couple guys. So we knew, we got some people coming up to look forward to, to carry the company hopefully in the next few years. And I decided to make a top 20 list of the top 20 prospects that the WWE has right now that I'm looking forward to in the future. The only qualifications I had for this list really were that you couldn't be a former WWE champion, so someone like Daniel Bryan, who's the current champion, while he's going to be a big part of their future, he is not a part of the list because he has held that championship. It is okay on this list, though, to be a former World Heavyweight Champion, so you'll see a name on this list of someone who has won that championship but has never won the WWE title. Also, to be on this list, you couldn't be a long-term employee, like a real long veteran that's never won the title, that's kind of coming down to the later half of your career. So someone like Christian, for example, won't be on this list. So that all being said, I'll go ahead and get right into this list. It's the top 20 WWE prospects who have never won the WWE Championship. So first off, we got number 20, Drew McIntyre. A lot of people might be thinking, you're crazy, this guy, there's no way with the way he's being booked. But the way I look at it is this. He's athletic, he's talented, he's in good with Triple H, he was in good with Shawn Michaels, and at one point in his career, he was deemed the chosen one on television by Vince McMahon, which, someone like Vince McMahon isn't going to waste their time on somebody if he doesn't see something in him. Big cons to him, though, are the way he's been booked lately. He's lost to El Torito rather clean. He's going to need to be dug out of a big creative hole if he's going to, do well in the future. But he's a talented guy, and he's got good in-ring ability, he's decent on the microphone, and I wouldn't give up quite yet on the guy. This whole 3MB thing, at least it has longevity. At least the guys are getting television time, whether or not it's as a joke. At least they're getting some time, and I think Drew McIntyre still has a spot in the future of the company. Number 19 is Tyler Breeze, who's currently in NXT. The company seems pretty high on him. He can put together good matches with other good wrestlers, and he has a somewhat fresh gimmick. It's something we've seen before. We've seen the narcissist gimmick many times. We've seen it with Lex Luger and, Cody Rhodes later on, the dashing character. We've seen a lot of guys come out with the masterpiece somewhat. So the pros with him, like I said, are he's a young guy and he's got a good look, but we have yet to see if he's going to translate over to the larger WWE audience. But he's doing well in NXT, and as of this video, he is the current number 1 contender to Adrian Neville's NXT Championship. So the future looks pretty bright, at least for the immediate future for Tyler Breeze. Number 18, Damian Sandow. So this guy's fallen on some hard times lately, but I think he's still got a bright future in the company. He's been pushed in the past. He's won Money in the Bank, the briefcase at least. He's got great mic skills. He's decent in the ring. He's got an entertaining gimmick. He's a unique character on the show. The problem currently with him is the way he's being booked as a complete joke of a character. But once again, at least he's getting television time. Uh, he's also the first guy to ever lose his Money in the Bank opportunity at the championship, which made him look pretty weak, but the match itself made him look fairly strong. So it wasn't a total loss in the sense of where he could be in his career, but lately the way he's been booked, what can you do about that? I think he's still got a decent future in the company, and I still put him at number 18. I still look forward to seeing what he does in the future. Number 17 is a guy we haven't heard from in a while. It's Evan Bourne. He's been over with the live crowds for a long time. He's got a great finisher. That shooting star press is great. And we've seen WWE pushing smaller talent lately, and he can come right back and have great matches with a lot of these guys on this list and a lot of guys currently on the roster. The problem with Evan Bourne is that he seems to be in hot water with the WWE office. I think he's failed a couple wellness tests or something along those lines. I can't remember exactly, but he's been out of action for a long time now. But he's still signed with the company. I think I saw on Twitter he's been with the company like 6 years now. And I think he's going to be coming back. And when he comes back, it'll be very interesting to see what they do. I mean, they could even put him in NXT to start building him up again and have him have great matches with a lot of these guys that you're going to see on this list. And a lot of the guys that we're currently seeing on NXT. So, number 17, once again, Evan Bourne. Number 16 is a newcomer to WWE NXT. It's Kalisto. Guy is great in the ring. He had a great career outside of the WWE. And at some point in the future, WWE is going to have to replace Rey Mysterio. And I see Kalisto as being the main prospect that can do that. He has unknown mic skills, at least to my knowledge, and definitely to the current WWE audience. And he's currently kind of playing a generic luchador character, but if he's as good in the ring as I believe he is, I think he's going to have a great career. And like I said, I see him as being kind of the heir apparent to Rey Mysterio, and Sin Cara wasn't able to do it, and I don't think we're going to see the Sin Cara character for too much longer anyways. And I think Kalisto could be the guy. So number 16, once again, is Kalisto. Number 15, Curtis Axel. Solid in the ring, improving on his mic skills, third-generation wrestler, helps train The Rock when he comes back to compete, and he's been pushed in the past as a Paul Heyman guy. He's a solid performer. He's good. He understands the business, and right now he's teaming with Ryback. It seems like that team's starting to gain a little momentum, but hasn't been overly impressive just yet, but he has a lot of potential. There's a big fallback with him, though, as far as in the minds of the wrestling fans, and it's unfortunate, but he just isn't as good as his father, Mr. Perfect, and not many people can be. The sad reality of it is this. Kurt Hennig was a great wrestler. He's a great performer. And we've seen it happen in the past to many guys that just couldn't live up to the family name. But we've also seen guys like Randy Orton who've come along and, Randy Orton is the best member of his family and he was the youngest. So we'll see what happens. I'm not giving up on Curtis Axel just yet. And once again, I have him at number 15. Number 14, I have Curtis Axel's current tag team partner, Ryback. Now, Ryback has had a monster push in the past. He has WWE Championship experience in championship matches. He's never won the title, though. We know he can get over with the crowd, and he's got good size. Unfortunately for Ryback, he was a failed Heyman guy, and he will always bear comparisons to Goldberg. He's also got this weird, wacky Twitter thing he does occasionally where he goes on Twitter and pretty much goes on these crazy rants and then deletes his tweets. And it's kind of weird. But needless to say, the guy is athletic, and he's supposedly a longtime wrestling fan, which usually helps out at least a little bit, and a little bit in my mind too. I have a little more of a soft spot for guys that I know grew up as fans. So once again, I got Ryback at number 14. I could see him getting another big push in the future, and he's a guy that they can use to main event. And if for nothing else, he's a big body guy with a big enough name that he can put over other people too. But once again, number 14, I've got Ryback. Number 13, Corey Graves, currently in NXT. I think the guy's got a great look. He's good in the ring. He's got a great submission finish. He's got a huge upside, and he's edgy. And I think he's going to get over with the female audience well. I think he's going to translate over for the males too. I think he's going to do really well in front of large crowds. I think he has a very, very good future, very bright for Corey Graves. I expect him to be on the main roster sooner than later as well. I think he's going to be a big part of WWE's future, in my opinion. And I've got Corey Graves once again at number 13. Number 12, Dolph Ziggler. Dolph is a former World Heavyweight Champion, but he's never held the WWE title. He's great in the ring. He's a phenomenal bumper, and he thinks he's the best. I can't argue with a lot of it, though. I think Dolph Ziggler is very, very good. He's very talented, and he's very over with live crowds. For whatever reason, though, he's always in hot water with officials. I think because of his attitude and some of the way he carries himself in interviews. He had what would be considered probably 2 failed World Heavyweight Championship runs, and he loses too often. If I was booking WWE, Ziggler would not be losing half of the matches he currently is. I'm not saying the guy has to go out there and win every time he's out there, but for as good as he is, he should be treated better, in my opinion. Now, the reasons that he isn't, I don't know, because I don't work for the WWE. I have no idea. But if what I read is true, if reports are true, and if my own opinion of him based on interviews that I have seen at radio stations and TV stations and those kind of things, sometimes it does come across like he thinks he's better than others, but he is. So once again, number 12 is the show-off Dolph Ziggler. Number 11, current Intercontinental Champion, Bad News Barrett. Bad News is solid in the ring. He's got a great gimmick, catchy catchphrase, great mic skills, good size, good look. He's a total package for a WWE performer. His only downside to me, in all honesty, is his finish, which I'm not a big fan of his bullhammer elbow, but then again, I'm also a Chris Hero fan, so I'm used to seeing guys who finish matches with elbows do it and make it look devastating. Bad News Barrett just doesn't. But I will say I do like the bullhammer elbow better than the wasteland finish that he was using before. I think Barrett's a big part of their future, and he's the kind of guy I've heard in the past, like Kevin Nash talk about how if guys like Barrett could just kind of learn how to work as a big man, because they are, it's going to help them out in the long run, and it's going to make their characters more credible, and I believe that to be true. And I think Bad News Bear is kind of the hybrid of the two. She's a big guy, and he could be a slow-moving, methodical heel or babyface, I guess. But at the same time, he's athletic enough to move around light on his feet. So Bad News Barrett is my number 11. Number 10, we got Adrian Neville, current NXT champion. The guy's phenomenal in the ring. He's got the most impressive finish in the company, at least in my opinion. Triple H seems high on him. He's the face of NXT, and he has a ton of independent and worldwide wrestling experience. The downsides to Neville, in my opinion, are he's not as over with the crowd as I'd like him to be in NXT. He's what I would call confusing on the mic. He has this very strong accent that makes it kind of hard to understand his promos, and he has kind of an awkward look. His character to me reminds me of like a fairy. It's the weirdest thing, but He's got the big ears, the long hair. His last name is Neville. It just, I don't know. But all that being said, he's so good in the ring that he shouldn't have to really cut promos. It shouldn't matter what he looks like. He's good, and he can get over in the ring. And that's important enough for me to think he's going to be a very big part of their future. And I think it's a very good sign for Neville that with all this attention on NXT on the WWE Network, that Neville is the focus of the company as the champion. And with all these new eyes on their product, for them to have that kind of faith in him, it tells me that he's planned to be a big part of their future. So number 10 is Adrian Neville. Number 9, Cody Rhodes. Guy is great in the ring, good on the mic, comes from a wrestling family, has tons of WWE experience, and he's been pushed in the past. One gimmick that I think was very underrated in the company was when he was the undashing Cody Rhodes and he wore that face mask. I thought they didn't do enough with that. I thought that could have went longer. I thought it was a great character with the baggers and the methodical, slow talking Chris Jericho